Supernatural is an app where you can access exclusive content from the Peace Deal. On the app features 2 seasons of the Midheaven podcast featuring Beyond the Veil. We also have Mystical Illuminations Television, which features membership exclusive content like the monthly tribe reports and the replays of the monthly peace reports we do every month. We also have exclusive series like World War Zero and Astrological Profiles. These series are examples of content that you can access on the app before they are eventually scheduled to YouTube and other social media platforms. For example, My Planets Through the Sign series will be scheduled to release once a week. However, as they are uploaded on the app, you will have full access to the entire series weeks before any of them appear on any other platform. We also offer easily accessible and interactive courses like my Astro 101 to Astro 105 series that give you a thorough introduction to astrology. We will also be periodically adding courses, and as those courses are available, members will be able to access them. We also have an amazing community that you are most welcome to join and chat with other like minds. It is not necessary to subscribe in order to use this app, as there is also a free default access plan that will give you access to most of the series in the app that are free and publicly available. In order to join, go to the website supernatural.passion.io. You can alternatively download from the App Store passion.io. Once the app is downloaded and it asks to find an app, simply type in Supernatural. Once the app itself is approved by Google and Apple, you will only need to type in Supernatural in the App Store and it will pop up. But until then, those are 2 alternative methods you can use to join us. So with all that being said, I look forward to you joining us on the other side as you become supernatural. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your new moon in Libra ceremony. This is the Peace Dealer, and you know what time it is. This is the second time of the year. We only do this twice a year, where we're gonna do the declaration of non-consent. Somebody had messaged me the original link to the actual non-consent process or the declaration, and I'm gonna try and find it so I can link it on my website. But yeah, outside of that, I do have the links to both the declaration and inner peace declaration as well. So we're gonna do that. The last time we did that, well, every year we do that. We're going to do it on the full moon in Libra during Aries season and the new moon in Libra, which you can see we're several hours ahead of right now. I like to do these ceremonies after that conjunction or opposition, but I think this is a good enough time to do it if ever. Thank you guys. Much appreciated. And yeah. So before we get into this, first of all, show me some love. Hit that like button. Okay. And then other than that, we're going to break down the next 2 weeks ahead. Okay. From new moon in Libra to full moon in Taurus. Now, I do have great news regarding this element of breakthrough, this element of getting ready to push the lever. This is the cardinal action step that is going to very powerfully push the lever towards transforming your experience of everything and why it's happening. And so I must remind you that Aries, Taurus, Gemini is the activation spring season. Cancer, Leo, Virgo is the integration summer season. And then Libra, Scorpio, Sag is the harvest breakthrough fall season. Okay. So this technically is the first new moon. This is activating the first stage of breakthrough. Of course, since we're having the new moon after the full moon, the new moon activates at the end of the zodiac sign. So we began to break through during the first breakthrough season, and now we're activating this first stage of breakthrough. Now, as far as Pluto is concerned, Libra season is the final stage of breakthrough. In 4 days, when we step into Scorpio, the sun will be, and we're going to talk about that, the sun will be squaring Pluto. We also know that relative to Saturn, Libra is the second stage breakthrough of transformation. We're going to talk about that too. But as far as just in not in theory, in practice, right? Aries kicks it off, meaning Libra kicks off breakthrough. Hence, from spring equinox to fall equinox, which is going to lead us to the winter solstice. Boom. All right. Very cool things to look about this new moon. One is squaring Jupiter. So we have reached quite literally a major turning point. Okay. And why that's also significant relative to the turning point we had last month, right? This is now applying everything that has begun to change our perspective. And the last type of checkpoint we really had, as we can see, was actually, as you can see, last month we had this new moon here, but was actually now the conjunction of the sun and Jupiter. As you can see, June 23rd was when we had this sun conjunct Jupiter in Cancer. Very important. And I'm going to have to show you. 22nd, 23rd, I lied. It was 24th. Actually, no, it might have still been the 23rd. But regardless, oh, no, 25th. All right. At least relative to the UTC, Universal Time, whatever. So we had this act that you want to go back to June 25th. Because now everything that we've effectively activated, the older you get, the more you realize Saturn is the greatest, like one of the greatest points. You grow up probably thinking, oh, it's too restrictive. Oh, I can't do anything. Then you realize, no, Saturn, yeah, Saturn's the shit. But other than that, you feel me? Like everything that we activated since June 25th, we are only now just starting to integrate. Which means for the previous 90 days, we have been sowing seeds. Okay. And relative to the seed sowing, right? Those seeds are finally getting ready to break through the ground. So 0 to 90 degrees, planting seeds, nurturing those seeds. 90 to 180 degrees, seeds grow from the ground. And then we start to integrate and tie them together. 180 to 270, harvest. We're breaking it through. The seeds we planted that started going through the ground, we're starting to harvest it. We're starting to see what they're worth. And then 270 back to 360, we're concluding, we're completing, we're releasing. All right. So really take the time to not only go back, because as you can see, June 25th also brought the integration of Jupiter to Saturn and Neptune. Jupiter that wasn't conjunct with Saturn since 2021 in Aquarius, when they started to socially distance and censor us. And then the conjunction to Neptune, which happened 2022 in Pisces, at the end of Pisces. So those seeds we planted, which represented the phasing out of these old eras with many different layers, right? Now we're understanding as we step into this reimagination of character, how this expansion of our emotional body, right, of this deeper understanding of our character is getting ready to integrate this next entrance into the new world. Except we haven't had a Sun-Saturn conjunction yet. That's going to be 2026. Chris, that's a very good question. I would say the transits contributing to what you're feeling are contributing to anxiety everyone's feeling. And I could literally name any transit, especially with your Libra moon. We can name Neptune, we can name Pluto and Uranus, but I would say the anxiety is less to do exactly with the planets and more your relationship as well as your approach towards responding to your immediate environment. All right. Really good question though. But if I were to just name you one transit, I would give you the impression that it's this planet that's affecting you. It's way deeper than that. And that's why I appreciate you asked the question. But I mean, you could look at Neptune and Aries, especially Libra moons. You're feeling real time this shifting of society. A lot of the social expectations that brought you to this moment are crumbling. South Node has gone through Libra. South Node has gone through Virgo. So what used to work to get you into these social spaces no longer work. And if you're a Virgo, if you're a Libra, you're going to be experiencing a lot more anxiety than most because you're directly aware of it. You're directly feeling that. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's getting ready to shift your comfort zone so that you're getting ready to take you're adapting currently at this moment to different approaches, if anything, that you can take, right? Take the planets and add it to the plot of your story. So with that being said, right, this conjunction is very important. All right. Mind you, new activation is going to be like January and March of 2026. January like 23rd, March like 20 something. March like 24th, 25th. It is what it is. So this activation, very important, right? Since June, we have now not only planted these seeds, and the significance is we have officially finished evolving the activation of our new characters. Now we are integrating what we will bring into the new world. I dare say new age. Jupiter in Aries, April of 2023. Jupiter in Taurus, I want to say May of 2024. We didn't have a Jupiter conjunction, which, okay, whatever. But we had the Cancer conjunction. So we've activated this evolution of our identity, value, and mindset. Now we're beginning to integrate. Okay, very important. Starting to quincunx, Pluto, next year, July 2026, it's going to oppose Pluto, and Virgo is going to transform. So this sequence of integration is where you're going to really experience the change that you've had actually apply socially. All right. And that's actually, shout out to Monica. That's actually why I want you to look at this period right now as highly significant relative to your breakthrough. Now that Saturn is, well, back in Pisces. Now that Neptune is like 1 minute away from going back. Like by the time we come into next week, the motherfucker is back in Pisces. That's why Scorpio season is going to be unnecessarily spooky. When I'm saying it's going to be spooky. The reason why Scorpio season is going to be spooky is because a lot of people refuse to take accountability. You have men blaming women for not taking accountability. You have women blaming men for not taking accountability. It's really everyone. It's a lot of motherfuckers not taking accountability. And so Saturn and Neptune are going to force everyone around the world to take accountability. That's why it's going to be spooky. It's like, woo! You can lie to social media and people. You can't lie to the universe. So and that's what kind of takes this away from, these people are better and more spiritual than other people. That's not true. It's just everyone's going to get hit with this. You're going to see some people take accountability. You're going to see some people maintain the accountability they've taken. And you're going to see everyone else play the fucking victim. And they're going to be fucked. That's it. This is the final test for humanity before we step into a new cycle next year. So everyone is going through this. It's important to understand collectively, everyone is going through this. And that's why separation is an illusion. That's why you need to be very careful about these people who campaign around us versus them speeches. I will do that when it comes to muggles and magicians, but you can tell I'm tongue in cheek. You can tell I'm being stupid, right? Even though I mean most of I'm not gonna let a muggle tell me what to do. Like personally, like you don't even know your chart ruler, bro. So I'll call myself, but when it comes time to take accountability for that, it's nothing for me to do that. It's nothing for me to even call myself out on it. You're gonna have people who refuse to take accountability, and it's very important to avoid these people. It's your choice. You don't have to avoid these people. You actually, whatever you want to do, but understand that if they're going to play victim during a period like this, they're going to play victim forever, and that's when shit gets dangerous. So just keep that in mind. A lot of stuff people thought that they could sweep under the rug and maybe, you know what I'm saying, like either get away with or walk away with. This shit's gonna pop up. Woo! And you just have to take accountability for it right then and there, or forever play the victim. Okay. So, and on the flip side, a lot of things that people are wanting you to take accountability for, but you have already taken accountability, but you didn't take accountability in the way they wanted you to, they're going to get slapped over the face. They're going to get slapped over the face by recognizing that they're not the authority to tell you to do this. There's an other side to this. You know how people will say, take accountability. And it's not that you didn't take accountability. It's that you didn't do it the way they want you to do it. Like they're your authority. They're not your authority. So which way you are maintaining this level of integrity, as it passed that test, it doesn't matter what anyone else has to say. Like I say, it's between you and the universe. And it will be fully demonstrated by their inability to maintain that outside of anything based on reality. They can't base on reality their reason for you. It's just to stroke their ego. It's just to feel like they were right. And that's another form of playing victim. I'm just gonna let you know. It's just flipping it back on you. Challenge authority necessarily. Do not appeal to false authorities. Do not allow other people to appeal to false authorities. Okay. So with that being said, it's very easy for people to hide stuff and to act like they're holier than that. They all getting exposed. Like Saturn's been exposed. Let me not even say it's Saturn, but like Saturn has been pretty much through this transit, or while Saturn has been through Pisces, we have been seeing loads of people who cannot practice what they preach, whose faith systems have never been sustainable. They've just been coercive. They've just been conduits of trauma, right? And I like that. The whole NLE Choppa thing. NLE Choppa is Pluto Sagittarius. Pluto Sagittarius is here to expose and awaken religion, politics, all sorts of stuff that the millennial generation, Pluto Scorpio and Pluto Libra, we began to do, but they're finally pushing it through. Like there's certain things we might have, you know what I'm saying? Like tolerated. Pluto Sagittarius is not tolerating. Like they're opening your face, and I love it for that. I think that's amazing. There's an ugly version of it. There's a good version of it. Regardless, whether you think he's goofy or not, I feel like he stood his ground. I didn't watch the entire conversation, but from what I heard about that, I commend him for taking the stance that he did and not being afraid to kind of like, you know, keep it real. Regardless, it's very, very, very important to understand a lot of people who believe in the religions that they believe was due to missionaries and colonialism, was due to many of them who were forced to abandon their original whatever in order to assimilate. Many people will not admit this. And then when you kind of equate drama, most of these people were in positions where they had nothing else but their faith to believe in. And it's very easy to attribute apparitions and all sorts of unexplainable phenomena to a belief system, when it really most likely came from you as well. It's very easy to give away that power. So most people who will kind of spout out the mouth relative to the belief, it's really just a trauma response. Okay, I'm telling you, like, and that's what makes this. I look, I hate to say it, that's what makes this like Neptune Pisces transit so revelatory. Because a lot of the finale of this is showing you a lot of what people believed in their entire lives was always a lie. Was always a lie. From diamonds being forever to you know, an account of somebody who was killing Christians and then saw a vision of Jesus, and now he's an unofficial 13th disciple. Like, that shit would never pass today. That's no different, really, than if I was Ben Shapiro and I was just a hater of hip hop. And then after collaborating with Tom McDonald, like on the way to just shit on hip hop, I see a vision of Tupac. Imagine if Ben Shapiro told you that he saw a vision of Tupac, and Tupac told him, "Why you hating on my niggas, nigga? Why you hating on me?" And then Ben Shapiro became blind, and then you know what I'm saying? And then he changed his name from Ben to Ken. He's Ken Shapiro now, and he's Lil Ken, and he rapping now. Y'all will call this man delusional, man. Y'all will call this man delusional, boy. Y'all will call this man delusional, say you're culturally appropriating, right? But then you'll read a Pauline gospel, which tells you that women should shut the fuck up in church and not say anything, as he writes to Timothy. Like, and even in that Pauline gospel, Paul respects women. So I don't want to put it in a sense where it's like, oh, he was against women. But y'all will eat that shit up. But if Ben Shapiro becomes Ken Shapiro and Lil Ken told you that he saw the ghost of Tupac, y'all would say that's crazy. This is that type of shit. And he has no historicity. He has no proof of this. In fact, the only weird thing is we can actually prove that Ben Shapiro exists. And you wouldn't believe it for someone who's real, but you'll believe it for someone who has no evidence of historicity at all. Bro, this shit pisses me off when I realize how we've been finessed crazy. It's no one I'll blame for that. We make our own adult decisions, but like, that's just one faith system. So like, you have to understand there's a growing new generation of children. He saw Tupac Shaburgstein. Yes, thank you. Okay. You have to understand there's a whole new generation of children who are born with more information than most people ever had. They're not going for that shit. Pluto Sagittarius, anyone born after 95 is not going for that shit. Pluto Capricorn, 2008 to 2024, they don't even know what cartoons are. Like, they're not going for that shit, bro. They're not inheriting that. It's dying with the old generation, bro. It's so, and to actually be in the midst of this makes this historic, because you're gonna look back 40, 50 years from now. I'm like, wow, I can't believe we really believe a certain percentage of the world believing in this. Like, for what? You feel me? And it's not as simple as that. I'm very much so overgeneralizing it. Canonization is canonization for a reason. When you understand the whole notion of a Trinity was not in the early church. It was something that through later councils was argued about. And that's not necessarily for me to argue if the Trinity is real or not. It's just the idea that most of these ideas you believe now weren't even originally like how the shit came out. It was years later, people started arguing, well, this is what we wanted to do. The labeling of people as heretics, the adoption of other such faith, like it's very important to not get caught up in old collective narratives and beliefs. And you'll know because you're having to sacrifice a sense of authenticity in order to believe something that has no grounding in reality. You can't really blame anyone for that by that point. Christ, Krishna, Amun Ra, you have these different cultural interpretations of this universal principle of absolute truth. This culture calls it this other culture calls it that. Most people think they're right and the other's wrong. But let me remind you, separation is an illusion. I don't believe in Christ. I know Christ. I do not believe in astrology. I speak it. You speak the word, the logos. Okay, so very important. And now I forgot to put this in the links. Actually, I didn't. But if you actually look at the links and you check out the Ultimate Manifestation playlist, you do have homework, guys. Your homework is to watch the very last video on that playlist. Speak like God and shift reality with your voice. How to activate the logos frequency. That is your homework. You must watch it. Okay, you must watch it. And for reference, once again, this is what that's going to look like. All right. This is the playlist. Your homework is to watch this. Start speaking like this. This is the power of your word. Speak like God. And I want you can watch everything here if you want, but definitely watch this and keep that in mind moving forward. Okay. Yes, we going in for real tonight because the way people will expect things from you, avoid accountability, and then flip it on you that you're not taking accountability. If you don't take stock of everything you've learned to get here, you're going to give all your power away in an effort to just look right towards others. You're going to have people who sacrifice their power and autonomy for image. They want to look right to the right people, ingratiate themselves to the right people, because either that's their customer base or they don't want to lose money, right? Or they just don't want to be hated on. And you have people who don't give a fuck about that, and they're going to stand on their integrity. They're not going to give their goddamn power away. Is it just those decisions? Is it just this or that? No, I'm giving you these couple of scenarios. Okay. So moving forward, the reason why this is so significant, as I've shown you, 4 months ago, we activated Sun, Jupiter, and Cancer. Now, for the first time since we've done that, the Sun is 90 degrees from Jupiter and Cancer. In fact, technically, it's 93 degrees. So we have begun integration. This is going to draw us out to the opposition. And I dare say, we are breaking through the integration of this Jupiter Cancer, or we are integrating this Jupiter Cancer, which is also a breakthrough of not just Saturn and Pisces, but the previous Aries cycle. Okay. And why that's so significant, it's very important for me to present it this way. As you can see, by the time we're activating this next cycle in January, we will have already opposed a retrograde Jupiter. Okay. So I want to share this here because now you're going to hey, and I appreciate, I'm okay with being wrong. That's why I always keep open. If you prove gematria is legit, right, I can admit I'm wrong about that. You feel me? Like it's totally cool. It's totally cool. Like it is what it is. And I appreciate that, because certain things will look delusional, others you have to be willing to stand on that. But once again, you feel me? Like moving forward, everything is breaking through. Like I wanted to kind of signal it like this so it makes sense why you're going to start to experience more breakthrough than you've ever experienced in such a short amount of time. Because not only is this the regular breakthrough arc, but it's taking into account the closure of arcs that take 30 years, 60 years, 89 years, 248 years, 185 years. Okay. The most important thing with this is the entrance of the Sun into Scorpio. The sun, as you can see, I think the most important part about this new moon moving and everything moving forward, the sun is 27, Saturn is 26. What does that mean? It means that the sun is making a 211 degree angle to Saturn. So now, just starting now, your social awareness is going to begin to increase your awareness of everything you're believing transforming. Because up until this point, if we go back 6 months ago, you were merely just activating these concepts. It was more imaginary. As you can see, when we had that previous and final Sun Neptune and Sun Saturn and Sun North Node conjunction, this was the final activation of our belief systems. It went into Aries. We applied who we are believing this. We realized, okay, maybe some of these beliefs don't translate. Oh, wow, some of these beliefs translate really well. Now we're retrograding back to reevaluate and review. All right, this is what I believe. This is how it worked. This is why it didn't work. And what happened during that period, the sun was in Virgo. So while we were aware of how our behavioral patterns match these beliefs, right? I believe that I can be sexy and win this runway model show. Okay, wow, I won first. So my beliefs were real, or I won last place. So there's more work I have to work. It was a reality check. We have to make sure our beliefs match our habits. While this came back into Pisces, we revisited everything we believe over the past 6 months. We activated it. We began to integrate coming into Cancer, as I showed you. And then boom, we've broken through into Libra. So now that Libra season is having a Scorpio signature transform this, it's very important that you understand why you're going to more than ever be directly experiencing everything transform around you. And this is where what you have sowed, that's what you're going to reap. If you've sowed shitty fucking beliefs that, oh, my relationships with people don't respect me, I can't find a good person, you're experiencing that right now. You are now taking action to reflect habits that maintain said beliefs. And that's why it's so very important that the past 7 months, you were not acting like a total bitch, but you were reclaiming beliefs that honor the hard work you've put into yourself. And the difficult part is believing it when no one else believes it. Through Virgo, you were able to form habitual patterns that now make it real. You have applied these habitual patterns in Libra with your relationships with others and your relationship with yourself. And so that's where coming into Scorpio, when we now have the trine, as you can see, we're going to have the sun in next month after the new moon in Scorpio. In fact, let me show you that. It's going to be the 20th, it looks like. We're going to have the sun and moon trine Neptune in Scorpio. So basically, right, all this transformation, shout out to Chad, that you're going to be seeing over the next 30 days transform through the Scorpio season of transformation, you're going to, by the time it's Sagittarius trining, seeing the higher meaning of wisdom as towards how your beliefs have transformed. Then we're going to go into Sagittarius where you're going to visually see it, and that's how we're going to complete it. In fact, let me show you. By the time we come into completion, now they're no longer retrograde and we're done reviewing. This is what's going to give you a visual of the higher meaning of how you've taken beliefs and made them real. Through Gemini, the thoughts and character that supports this belief system and reimagination of your new self. So by the time we get into December, we are completing breakthrough, okay? And that's where you're going to see everything that's broken through. And this is where when people think of transits, they think, oh, so we have to wait until December, right? But that's like saying you have to wait 6 hours to get to Houston. if you're driving 6 hours away. Yeah, but you're never really waiting. You're driving there. So you're getting closer each and every mile. You're not static. It's not like you wait and then boom, you're there. So you do not have to wait. You're going to be seeing it every single day up until this completion point, where now there's nothing more to break through. And now we're seeing what we have fully sowed. We're seeing what we have reaped. Okay. So that's why this is a very important new moon. And as soon as we come into this activation, you're going to realize a lot of what you thought wasn't working was really just movement behind the scenes. Okay, the Saturn Neptune in Pisces is movement behind the scenes. That's precisely nice. That is precisely why Saturn in Pisces is testing your faith. How, like, it's easy to preach to people that, oh, you just got to believe in God. You just got to believe in God. You just got to believe in yourself. You just have to say positive affirmations. You just have to be positive. You have to have a good mindset. It's easy to say that, right? But can you still believe that if you don't see results? If you don't, quote unquote, like Saturn in Pisces is changing the way you look at success. You believe in success. You look at what results even mean to you. Does it have to externally be there for you to do that? Or was it always something within that you brought to make happen? Okay. Because now that movement is happening behind the scenes in the astral realm beyond the 0.1% of electromagnetic spectrum you even perceive, because you hallucinate. I hallucinate. Everyone hallucinates. So nobody knows shit. Let me just remind you, nobody knows shit unless you're some Aquarius. And you niggas don't count. Aquarius, Pisces, you don't count. You're not even here. That being said, if you don't even have the faith while things are happening beyond the scenes, you're seeing real time your belief systems are bullshit and they need to be thrown in the trash. And you are really just capping. But you have people that know their God. They pray without ceasing. They do exploits. They didn't need results. This is so important, guys. They didn't need results. They said it. They meant it. And that was it. They didn't wait for it. They know, oh, I said this is what's going to happen. So it didn't matter when it happened. Things started to get difficult. They adapted. They didn't start complaining. They didn't start being like, oh, well, I intended for this. Why isn't it here? Adaptation allows you to change and to be okay with what you expected not happening so you can adapt to the situation. Wow, now you're in an even better situation for you that you wouldn't have known if you didn't adapt. If you had to be like, no, it has to be like this. Okay. Let me see. I did get a couple more orders. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I won't say it's random. I won't say it's prosperity, but I mean, I did get a couple more orders. I'm gonna keep it for another couple of days. Colby gave me let me show you. Colby told me to put this as my lock screen. Prosperity. And it looks pretty fire, I'm not gonna lie. And like hours after I put it on, my Pisces friend, we spoke, he paid me $10. So I was like, okay, that's cool, you know. So it's gonna start off a little bit, right? Send me that. How can we send this to people? Where can I put this? You gotta dance when they come in. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. Colby, is there a way if anyone wants to download this, they can download this? I'm not entirely sure where I would put that. But yeah, with that being said, guys, this is why I want you to be excited. So for those of you who have been frustrated, right? You've been feeling down, like there's been higher levels of depression. I don't have any analytics to YouTube posts. Okay, I'll post it on the YouTube whatever. But for those of you who have been feeling depressed or whatnot, I don't have any, once again, stats to prove, oh, this is the rise that's here. I'm just kind of pulling that out my butt, right? But with that being said, a lot of this is because a lot of people don't believe in themselves. That's really what it comes down to. It's just so easier to give up on yourself than to like actually believe in yourself, than to like actually make it through struggle, right? We wouldn't have half of the depression we have if it was that simple. So clearly it's not that simple, right? But regardless, a lot of this, right? A lot of this that you've been going through, you're going to now transform this now that the sun is finally Scorpio signaturing the totality in Saturn. And as this intensifies through Scorpio, it doesn't necessarily mean to let up and just relax as much as it means personally. Let me see. Oh, God damn it. I'm gonna have to do, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. As much as it means the YouTube community post isn't posting the whole thing. So I know I'm gonna do it. So it's saying to keep harvesting, to keep doing what you're doing, but of course you're now going to look forward to massive breakthrough. And this is why I'm going out of my way to show you that if you were expecting anything before now, you were short selling yourself. You were probably just being impatient, which in and of itself, I wouldn't even say is a bad thing. And if you were depressed, if you were discouraged, please don't beat yourself up about that. This really could just be a way with which you are realistically just processing these collective emotions. Because another thing we have to take into account is many of you are not even feeling just your feelings. A lot of you are tapping into the entire collective. This is doubly true if you're moon in Capricorn, if you're moon in Aquarius, if you're moon in Pisces. Sagittarius moon, sometimes you count. I'm a little, I'm being elitist here. Sag moon, you count, but I want to be elitist here. That being said, okay, if you have moon in any sign, right? But especially in these last 4 signs, social signs, I'll give you some credit too, because you feel the society around you. You're not even feeling just your own emotions. And no one really taught you how to deal with some shit like this. Having to feel the pressure and weight of an entire age that's getting ready to shift, where everything being reported to you is just lies. Like you're listening to people's opinions. It's not really appropriately gauging what you're really going through. And no one may have told you how to sort through these emotions. It's okay to feel beat up. It's okay to feel bad. It's okay to feel that. It's not okay to give up on yourself. We do not tolerate that here in Infinity Game, where you're limitless. Like I would hate for us to constantly meet here and remind you that your net worth is infinity. And then you go out there in the world, right? And then you no longer believe you have an infinite net worth because you don't have a rational explanation for why. This isn't an argument, because this will low-key be a fallacy, but like people cannot rationally explain anything beyond the 3rd dimension. And yet that doesn't change the fact that we still barely have an understanding of like most shit. So your inability to rationally explain your limitless worth does not mean you're not worth infinity. And you can even flip that argument on its head. The point of this is to just not necessarily enable people to see you as less than you are. And honestly, I do want to sound like a hustling preacher. The only difference is I'm not going to beg you guys to spend donations so that I can buy my own private jet. I want you to invest in yourself. Okay, seriously. I want you to I'm gonna be this preacher, but take that belief and spend it on yourself. Invest in yourself. Okay, I'm not trying to take a leaf from penguins. I did not make $35 million on YouTube. Okay, I barely get shit, bro. I've been doing this for over 10 years. I don't think I've made over $500,000 doing this, which I mean, with no promotion and just word of mouth is cool. right? But I'm not like the Leo Kings and other people making millions doing this, which shout out to the Leo King who's made a good amount of money doing this. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying I'm not on their level. I've not fucking like, I've not had a super successful app. There's very few people who really support me. A lot of people say like there's very few people do, and I appreciate the few of you who do, because, and that's why I appreciate it. You guys taught me the value isn't really in the money. It's in these experiences with you guys where we can actually recognize, oh, wow, this isn't just in our heads. This isn't just cognitive bias. These aren't just Barnum statements. Like, we're actually growing a community here. We're actually recognizing each other. The people who weren't able to articulate and voice things with even their own family that they're able to me, that's worth more money to me. Like the people, like what the one email that I got that reminded me of why I do this was a woman who told me, yo, like, I almost didn't even hit you up, Peace Dealer, because before I got a reading from you, I was getting readings from other people, and like they were fucking frauds. Like you get a reading from me, it's gonna be on point. Can you imagine paying someone money? Can you imagine paying someone good money? Right? And that's where I'll give Leo King props, because he's good at what he does. That's why I'm not knocking whatever money he makes. He really good at what he do. Imagine giving other people money, right? And you get the reading back and it's not even accurate. I paid you money. I had to wait for the reading. It's not even accurate. That gives you distrust in the market. Now you're thinking, now, and she was like, yeah, I wasn't sure if you were legit. Why would she, of course, not feel that if she's going to invest her money in people and they're giving her bullshit? So she only told me that because she got 3 readings from me, and all 3 were just exceptionally accurate. They hit every time. I gave her a 3 for 300% accuracy rate. She couldn't believe it. And that let me know in a society that paints all of us as pseudoscientists and acts as if we all just trying to steal people's money, there is a demand for us here. There is a demand for people who actually know what they're doing, who actually, do this shit in integrity. There's so many. Shout out to Chad the Maverick. You know what I'm saying? Like, people who just are taking advantage of an unregulated field. You don't need a license to teach this shit. Anybody could teach this shit. We need people like us out here. And the people who don't believe, and listen, the people who don't believe that don't know their chart ruler. It's just a fact. Every single person who will disagree with what I'm saying, ask what their chart ruler is. Ask what their moon sign is. They don't fucking know. So, like, there's a clear demand for what we do. And I appreciate it. I could have literally pursued a professional degree and just been an engineer. I was studying electrical engineering. I reluctantly ended up finishing school, graduated with communications, minoring in business. I could have gotten a legit job. I know the importance of this path, and I don't complain about that. If maybe I'm not getting as much money as my peers, if as a 35-year-old man, I'm not in the same place as other people are, I would not trade it for the world. The people who I've met on this path, what I've accomplished on this path, whether it looks like I have anything to show for it or not, I would not trade that for anything. I love what I do. Okay. Astrophysicists throw shade on astrology all the time and then cannot tell you the difference between constellations and zodiac signs. Like, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. But I know a physicist that was able to prove electro low magnetic frequency. I want to find that video also so I could share that with you guys, because that was actually really cool. But with that being said, and when I say they don't know the difference between constellations and zodiac signs, they will say precession of the equinox. And I think it's misinformation because they want you to think, oh, well, the constellations are shifted. Constellations are zodiac signs, and you're an astrophysicist. So there's no way you're going to convince me that you don't know that and I know that. That doesn't make sense. You're either getting paid or you're spreading misinformation, or you don't know what you're talking about the way you know enough of what you know, but not enough to know that you don't know certain things. It is what it is. I don't necessarily take offense from it because the truth does not need defense. So I'm just gonna, we're just gonna keep it pushing. But yeah. Hello. The fuck? Well, damn. I'm looking for my saved posts because I want to share with you that. Oh, I guess I don't have it. Oh, well, I'll find it later. I'll make a special video on it. But yeah. Personally, I consider myself a magician. And I just read and I practice magecraft. I practice astromancy. Like they're proper astrologers that'll take you to more advanced solar arcs. It's just society does not recognize magic as anything real. So astrologer is the closest thing I can put to it. But like I'm a magician that uses astromancy and taromancy. That's why you see me use astrology and tarot. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of people would just throw the cognitive bias label on it, but it's just very ironic. It's just like you're inadvertently kind of doing what you're accusing other people of doing and keeping it surface level because most people don't have the insight. So it's just going to be easy to take your word for it. But other than that, it's cool. This shit's going to prove itself, to be completely honest. The reason why this is significant once again, right, is, and shout out to Forest Fairy Tarot, this transformation, guys, moving into Scorpio and in the Sag is going to hyper accelerate the quality of how things are really pushing through. And that's why I also wanted to show you that not only are we breaking through relative to Pisces and Aries, but we're also integrating the Jupiter and Cancer. All right. And I have no problems with him. Like I actually enjoy watching some of his content. I think he's cool. I know he's hated for certain things. It is what it is. It's just, certain disagreements. I personally would rather debate scientists than religious people because at least, you know what I'm saying? The astrophysicists, the chemists, the physicists, they're going to treat astrology like the bastard stepchild, even though astrology was relevant before any of them, right? Astrology is like the older brother who was more relevant than astrophysics. No one knew about astrophysics, physics, all of that. And then later in time, all of their younger siblings grew to be a lot more popular than astrology. And now they're acting brand new. They're like, oh, we don't know astrology, even though astrology put all you motherfuckers on, right? Now it's like, oh, that's fake. But still, I will still debate them because we can stand on a rationale. We'll still have a sense of rationality to where we don't have to agree, and they can be as harsh, but their criticism is grounded on just pursuit of truth versus someone who's religious, who's just going straight off of headcanon, and they don't want to hear reason. They're going to change the reason at any point to suit their confirmation bias. They don't care about historicity. It's totally different. It's totally different, bro. I'll debate an atheist before I respect the atheist more than I would respect somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. That one is just you no longer arguing. You just yelling at each other, and it's cool. It's cool. So that being said, and that's why I enjoy what I do, because I'm not coming from this position as this guru that knows everything. I am okay with being wrong. In fact, the next project that I'm going to do with enough capital is on this channel. We're going to do experiments. We're going to do case study. I'm going to join with the team of maybe, physicists, other astrologers like Jax Atlantis, Colby, even Maverick, Chad the Maverick. And my goal is going to be to debunk astrology. The next project I'm going to do is case studies and experiments that debunk astrology, because my whole thing is the best way to prove astrology is real is to try to debunk it and realize you can't truly debunk it. The people who have tried in the past didn't study it, so they were able to get away with using vague and broad terms to say, oh, see, that doesn't work. For example, if there's an experiment set up with astrologers and it's like, oh, we tried to get these astrologers based on these qualities to know whose chart was which, that does not debunk astrology. That's not a representative enough as a sample size. And you're generalizing the meanings of layers upon layers of nuance. It's a good step in the right direction, but it needs more refinement. So I'm going to do shit like that, right? I'm going to take previous experiments, kind of go into that. Like, that's really how I want to spend the rest of my 30s, 40s, 50s, and then start writing books on it. That's why I haven't really rushed in to just write. I will write books, but like, I definitely want to get more nitty gritty. Like, this type of shit, I want to take my time with. Even if I don't start writing till my 60s. So I at least have like a good 10, 20 years of experience. And please don't ever rush yourself when it comes to this. Like, always take your time. Always take your time. What's real today changes tomorrow. But yeah, with that being said, we're transforming Saturn Pisces. We're also integrating Jupiter and Cancer. So this is going to be now directly experiencing these seeds you planted grow from the ground, while it's simultaneously opposite the Aries. Okay. And Genesis 1:14-15. They'll tell you that's not astrology, but if you ask them what their chart ruler is, they don't know. So they're giving you a persuasive definition. And that's the paradox. It's like you say astrology is evil. You've never practiced it, but you know it now to say, no, that's not astrology. You've never practiced it. So how is someone who's practiced it for 10 years telling you what it is, and how that's what Genesis 1:14-15 is saying? No, that's not what astrology is. But you don't know your chart ruler. You don't know what a trine is. You don't know what your moon's are. Like, you're a clown. You're a clown. The 3 wise men looked at the stars to find Jesus. That's astrology, brother. But they'll tell you that, no, that's astronomy. That's astronomy. That's not astrology. Brother, you don't know what astrology is then. If you're taking contemporary definitions you've seen from people who don't even practice it professionally, buddy. It is what it is. And then you watch the weatherman and believe the prediction. It's crazy, bro. And then you'll take a clock and then you'll actually tell the time, which has astrological principles behind it. Calendrical, astronomical. Because you've been taught to see these things as separate, you don't realize they're pretty much all a bit of the same thing. But it's cool. That being said, all of these dynamics I'm speaking on, you're going to see this transform throughout the whole world. A lot of what the world used to believe, and very quickly, you're going to continue to see this rapidly change. And that's where this next 2 weeks is going to be nuts, because this full moon that we're going, actually, it's going to be the new moon. I was thinking it's the full moon, but it's actually the new moon. So let me show you guys again. The new moon that we're going to have next month is going to be opposite Uranus in Taurus. Get ready for this, guys, because next year we're going to have the first Sun Uranus Gemini. The last time we had that was World War II. And this opposition is going to finally break through the conjunction, the final conjunction we had in Uranus back in Taurus season, as you can see. That's why this is very significant. Okay. So by the time we come into this next new moon, boom, it's opposite Uranus. This is even more unexpected, unconventional breakthrough. That's what's going to make the rest of the year just exponential in quality, just hyper accelerating. Oh shit, just moving forward. I left some stuff in the freezer. Please don't freeze. Holy shit. All right, thank you. Whew, it wasn't frozen. All right, that being said, guys, I left some Arizona iced tea in the freezer. I'm like, holy shit. Okay, so with that being said, um, are we clear on that? So we're gonna go into the next 2 weeks, and then we're gonna do the declaration of non-consent, with which you're gonna recognize once you do it, it's not gonna be like anyone we've done before. Okay, I can say that for everyone we do moving forward. This isn't gonna be like anyone we've done before. I can technically say that every time we do this, so just put in a disclaimer there. But like, yes, okay, this you're gonna notice more of an instant activation as well as just like the whole point of what I'm trying to say, right? The whole point of what I'm trying to say is that from the beginning of the year up until now, it should have felt like things just aren't really like I'm putting in this work. I'm not seeing anything of it. That's a good thing. Moving forward, coming into the end of the year is where you're going to see mass acceleration. And I'm trying to show you how now, literally now, you see the 27 to Saturn at 26. You see the 27 in Libra to Jupiter in 24. This is what is going to mark as that official breakthrough turning point. We are activating the first stage breakthrough. New moon Scorpio, second stage breakthrough. New moon Sagittarius, final stage breakthrough. Okay. This first stage is what's going to really now pick up the pace considerably. And that's where you're going to start to see around the external environment around you, everything you believe rapidly transform. Now, I say rapidly, but that is relatively over the next 6 months. Okay, so it's both going to be instant, but still going to take place over time. So don't rush yourself and don't expect too much. But I just want to really put in this sense of peace. And I hope moving forward, I hope what I'm saying inspires you to double down on your belief in yourself. And to not necessarily let this illusion that things aren't moving in your favor to discourage you. Because if you were to really understand what's happening behind the scenes and beyond the scenes, you would not keep that same energy. You would actually be a lot more excited. So don't wait to see proof for it and feel it now. That's all I'm really saying. And I'm telling that to myself as much as I'm telling it to you. So now that we've kind of gotten that out the way, that's the most important part about this new moon. Now we want to talk about the Chiron opposition, because 6 months ago we had the Chiron activation. As you can see, we had this conjunction here. Now, what's interesting about this degree is that 2 years ago, this was actually where we activated Jupiter. So now Chiron has reached the spot of this official activation of this 12-year evolution cycle. And now that we finally made it here, this is one of the final self-healing activations. What we're going to call Chiron in Aries is self-healing. Okay, it's overcoming vulnerability through ego issues that enable you to release this need to prove yourself, anger issues, right? We've been doing this for years since it entered Aries. And I want to, for reference, show you that in a couple of years, by 2027, it's going to be in Taurus. And what do we know about 2027? That's where we have this singularity point with Pluto in the North Node. We reach AGI and super intelligence takes over the world. Oh, too soon? That's where we have Jupiter and Leo, and A lot more people are about to go outside. So mind you, remember, we were socially distancing. We were socially distancing starting 2020 and 2021, and there's a precedent for that. We had no social planets. And let me show you. So there was nothing in social signs. That's not a coincidence, guys. And these people will tell you astrology is not real. But like that, which is mind-blowing to me. But that being said, no social planets. No social planets. We were socially distancing. We had all these collective universal regulations, right? As we move forward back into Jupiter and Leo, and what does this look like? You have a lot of women complaining that men aren't going out to nightclubs anymore, right? You have the casino Las Vegas blaming the younger generation for not going out to gamble and spend their hard-earned money. When there's this huge elephant in the room and people don't want to address the changes in economy, how shit is so much harder for people, how inflation is making stuff harder for men and women. Let me tell you, by the time Jupiter goes back into Leo, more people than you have ever seen are going to be outside. This is temporary. Like this whole idea that, oh, people are inside. First of all, we were introverted before it was cool. There's a war on introverts. Y'all think we're lame as fuck because we don't go outside. That's crazy. All right. But we were inside before you guys had to be locked down and it was cool, period. But I'm going to tell you, starting next year, in July, when Jupiter goes into Leo, the Jupiter Leo, Jupiter Virgo, Jupiter Libra, from next year, like 2029, more people are going to be outside than you've ever seen. Men are going to go back to the club, right? You're going to see all sorts of people protesting that you've never seen protest before, especially as they roll out these digital IDs, that more people with AI replacing jobs by 2027 aren't going to want to go through. So please understand this social distancing is more cyclical. And we're on the verge, off the heels of stepping into a new world, integrating a new society where you're going to see more people outside than you've ever seen outside. I think it's because of revolution, especially with Pluto. And that's why you need to look at these protests happening right now and understanding that this is only just the beginning. Pluto and Aquarius. Okay. We're going to have more planets in fire and air, which promotes extroversion. Okay. I did not hear about the Gen Z coup in Madagascar, but I heard about the Gen Z coup in Nepal. And Divine Reflection, I needed you to say that because a lot of people don't know Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Beta, they're going to take over the world. Like Gen Z's coup in Madagascar and Nepal is a sneak peek of what Gen Z is going to do throughout the whole world. Need I remind you, the last time Pluto was in Aquarius and every revolution from France to Haiti to America happened, it was the equivalent to the Gen Z back in that day who did that. It was the Pluto Sagittarians, the Pluto Scorpios, and the Pluto Capricorns who did that. It was younger people. So now they've reincarnated back here. They doing it again. That's one thing I respect so much about Gen Z and the future generations, bruh. It's like they're not going for any of this bullshit. Now, new levels, new devils, right? The AI bubble could pop during this period. It could end up getting better. The AI bubble could be the best thing that happened to everyone. It could be the worst thing that happened. So we're going to find this out. We're closing out these concerns this year. We're stepping into these new cycles, new contracts, new rules, new restrictions. A huge thing about next year is going to be crazy is we're going to be introduced with new restrictions and regulations on our own rights. That's going to challenge people all throughout the world. That's what Saturn in its fall in Aries is. And Neptune is going to be reimagining what it means to even be an individual and to be human and to be species, regardless how you classify that. So it's a whole new world we're stepping into. And that's why now that we're breaking through, this final breakthrough is breaking through the corruption of the old world, the beliefs of the old world. Your great-grandparents, grandparents, and parents had to believe what they believed to get you here. That's why I honor. That's why as much as I might be frustrated about it, I respect fate. I respect karma. I do not believe in free will. I believe that our past, in a deterministic way, really dictates a lot of what we're going through now. I'm compatibilist in a sense where free will to me does exist within a certain level, but it's ultimately deterministic. Like you still do have the choice. Like I can have the choice to end this right now, but relative to past stuff, I still have to finish everything. It's not gonna happen, right? That's where I feel like there's free will. There's a free will as an illusion up to a point, but it's really just deterministic, right? And I don't knock people who believe in free will. A lot of choices people think they have are really just responses based off of what you wired in the past. So it's going to look, it's an illusion of choice, right? But mainly you're going to be you to a fault. Like you're sure which now limits the total amount of things you can do. Then is it really a choice? Like it is, it's a limited choice. So I will never knock anyone who believes in free will though. I think that's awesome, especially if you could put it into words. I'm open to believing it. So I'm not like dogmatic, like, no, it does that. I consider myself hard determinist to compatibilist. But if anyone can convince me free will is actually true, I'll be open to believing it. Like I'll be open to accepting that. That's just my belief, my opinion, let's just say. Okay. So that being said, right? Given that we're breaking through out of these old themes and everything that your ancestors had to believe to get you to this place, you're discarding a lot of that. It's not the first time. It's not the last time. I dare say in 30 years, in 200 years from now, maybe if humanity still exists, they might be criticizing innovations we made today like they were the best stuff. And ridiculing us for being so backwards when we thought we were progressive, right? That's just natural, I think, when it comes to the cycle of time. Okay. Right. Either way, what choice do I have? Right. So it's cool because now you're getting ready to revisit everything that made you who you are. And you are going to be testing real time how far it gets you and what you have to adjust, right? Some of you may have gotten really far protecting yourself by pushing certain people away. That may not work anymore. You may have to accept yourself at a level to where you could trust yourself with other people, right? You could trust yourself a bit more out your comfort zone. And that's where everyone is going to be held accountable. This is where I don't believe in this whole doctrine of separation and that some people are cool and some people are bad. These people are more evil than we're evil. I like to think everybody ain't shit. I know some people are going to say, speak for yourself, peace dealer. No, I like to think that everyone ain't shit. Everyone has a part of themselves that ain't shit. And you're all going to be held accountable. It's just what makes someone good is that they take that accountability. They don't play the victim. They're able to be like, you know what? I shouldn't have done this. I feel like that's happening to everybody. And we're going to see who plays victim and blames everyone else but themselves and who owns they shit. Those of you who own it, you already won. Okay. And I congratulate you in advance. And I say the same thing. No one is perfect except Virgo. I say if you're Virgo, you may be flawless, except you can't convince Virgo to believe they're perfect because they feel like they're never perfect enough. So that's his own form of like, okay, it is what it is. Virgos will hit you with no, perfection is a constant state of improvement. No one is ever flawless. They're just telling you that because they don't want you to know what they really think. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Virgo is really Leo behind closed doors. Virgo looking themselves like, damn, I'm flawless. Holy shit. You see? Oh my God. Who can look? Libra doing this shit too. Libra just waking up in the morning like, how am I this sexy and rich and single? Yes, which I don't blame Leo, Virgo, or Libra for doing. I see it is what it is. But like, yes, Virgo will do that shit and then be like, oh, guys, I make mistakes just like you. Okay. And in their head, they'll be like, ha, psych. Like, no one's perfect in their head except me. Like, yes, you need to understand this about them. And Virgo, talk your shit. Talk your shit. All right, it's cool. Pisces is divine. Virgo is perfection. It's cool. Everyone has an attribute that makes us us. And, embrace it. Yes, Libra is Scorpios are sexy as fuck. Sagittarius is the hottest. Virgos are perfect. Leos are awesome as fuck. Cancer has this underwater gorgeousness. Like, everyone has something. Capricorn is incredible. Aquarius and Pisces, y'all weird and strange. Yo shit don't even make sense. Some of y'all are just some of y'all are like celestially beautiful. This shit like hurts the brain to process. Aries is hot. Taurus is solid. All right, and Gemini, we crazy. You need a little bit of crazy. I love when people call Gemini a two-face. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Cancer is a closet Gemini. I will say that. Gemini is the two-face, right? But who gossiped with Gemini? That's why I love it. It's like you're snitching on yourself. You snitching on yourself, right? You gonna call us a gossip. Who are we gossiping with, bitch? Who are we talking shit with, bitch? Who do you come when you want to talk shit? Us. Yes. What is this? What is this? Who do you come to when you want to talk all this shit? Us. So that means we not gossiping on our own. Okay, we just gonna blame Gemini for it. It's crazy. Crazy not an attribute. Well, it is now, sir. Or Libra too, yes. Oh, it is what it is, buddy. So, I mean, screw it. But Gemini's attribute, smart as fuck. But, I mean, also sexy too when they want to be. Everyone has their own version of sexiness, we'll say. But that being said, guys, all right. I just want you guys to move forward knowing that everybody, I just want you to, but I don't do gossip. It just comes to me without me looking for it. And I'm not going to say no, but like every Gemini ever, but like, hold on. Okay. I just want you to understand moving forward. No, because I don't want them to say I'm biased towards Gemini. You feel me? Gemini, you already know what it is. They hate us because they ain't know. We clearly the smartest motherfuckers in this bitch. But like, it's cool. We're not allowed to say that. Libra side on already. But yeah, that being said, it's the whole air game, to be completely honest. Yeah, apply by diabolical course. It's just Libra has this customer service face, and Aquarius gets away with everything. So that just leaves Gemini. We're not even trying to get away with it. We're like, it is what it is. But that too. But yeah, I just want you guys moving forward to know that congratulations. We are officially breaking through. We've been breaking through since Leo season, to be completely honest. The first breakthrough was the Pluto opposition to Sun and Leo. But now we're officially activating this breakthrough. This official activation of breakthrough is the last point of breakthrough for Pluto, the second point of breakthrough for Saturn and Pisces, and the first point of breakthrough for Chiron and Aries. The opposition of Chiron is now breaking through the self-healing for the last 3 times before 2027. Okay. And why that's very significant all the time. But why that's very significant, and I love it. Like Libra and Aquarius is cool when it's just us. Like Gemini, we love you. Like they're so fake, bro. They're so fucking fake. Aquarius is realer than Libra. They're so fake, dude. Like when it's just us, we're the best friends ever. But when Libra and Aquarius gotta look good to the other side, I don't know why Gemini's crazy. Like Gemini does this, like, bitch, you were just talking that shit with us before. And now to their defense, we do say crazy shit. We do say out of pocket shit. But like, you not finna act fake in front of Leo and Scorpio because you want to impress Capricorn. Like, don't do that. Don't sell us out because you trying to impress Virgo, and you know Virgo be beefing with us sometimes. Like that's just like, come on, it's cool though. Yes, knowing like y'all way worse than us. So like anything Gemini does, Libra Aquarius is taking it to the next level. But they get away with it so much. Libra is ruled by the goddess of beauty. They can make you love the abuse. Like, oh, well, you're pretty. They get pretty privilege. I've never seen a Libra that doesn't get pretty privilege. And an Aquarius is an evil genius. Like, they have you eating out the palm of their hand. They're just like 6 steps ahead. So they're not getting caught for what they do. But it's cool. Gemini has to get double teamed by Capricorn and Scorpio, which is already unfair. Like, we get jumped every time. Look at Kanye. You feel me? Look at even the president. Like it's never fair. That's why our victories mean so much more. And I know people don't want to hear that, but it's cool. Anyway, that was out of pocket what I just said. I'd be slipping it in. Like, our victories are so much more. But yes, we activated final breakthrough. We're at the final part of the year. This is the climax, by the way. So we are officially activating the breakthrough season. So season 1, we activated, Gemini moon. But see, the thing about Cancer, the thing I love about Cancer is like Charlemagne the God. Cancer is going to say it first. They're going to sound out of pocket, and then they're psychic. So they were right. 50 been calling out Diddy, right? But remember when Charlemagne the God said that, oh, Drake is going to sue. And everyone was like, what? He was right. Like, there's classic with Cancer. Cancer's going to say it. People are going to call him delusional. Boom, they right. All the time. This shit is actually hilarious. That being said, season 1, we brought everything in. We started to set up the conflict, right? People were like, wait, like that's the end of season 1. If you almost missed it, right? It was hilarious. Yeah, Dame Dash is Taurus. Charlemagne the God is Cancer. That's how Taurus and Cancer sound when they talk to each other. And then you'll think they're beefing, but they actually friends. They may talk like they don't like each other, and I'm not going to speak on those two. Maybe those two don't really like each other, but I love that conversation because that's how Taurus and Cancer sound when they talk to each other. Taurus is just being solid, Cancer is just being slick. And they try to dig at each other. It's like, do you guys hate to know we actually good friends? But that being said, if you peeped how season 1 ended in the Northern Hemisphere, we started the season off hopeful, and then we ended season 1 off like, wait, are you on the list? And then he like, man, why the fuck y'all care about that list, bitch? Like, and it's like, oh my God, what's happening? Then season 2 ended with a plot twist. I think we know what that plot twist is. It was a huge turning point. And now we are officially beginning season 3. Okay. Season 3 kind of kicked off with this temporary ass ceasefire that we all knew wasn't going to last. And I'm telling you, this is the climax. So considering the season 1 and season 2 we had, this fall season is the climax coming into the end of the year, the winter solstice. So considering we had a huge season 2 finale turning point, that should let you know why season 3 about to be crazy. And that's why I'm telling you, this is going to begin to transform everything you have ever believed with this King Kunks to Saturn and Pisces. And we are in for quite the season 3 finale. Then winter is going to be the conclusion. You know what I'm saying? Last year's season 3 finale was President Trump winning the election, right? This year's season 3 finale, I won't even say it was the season 3 finale, but that was the high point of last year. This year is going to blow this out the water. And then the next 2 years is going to be even crazier. Okay. So, yep, pure versus pure evil season, baby. I love that. I think that was very well said. Your vibration matters. So with that being said, and more importantly, the good versus evil within you. All right. So why that's very significant is Scorpio season is going to be very spooky. And that's where I'm saying it's not going to be spooky for those of you who stand on business. If you have that Taurus solidity, whether you have Taurus placements or not, you may have nothing in Taurus, but you're still solid. You got the Taurus solidity. Scorpio season about to be very rewarding for you. If you're avoiding accountability, Scorpio season is going to be the spookiest season. Scorpio is not playing that shit. Scorpio is looking for bodies. Scorpio is looking to murder anybody who try to play. Tell you, Scorpio's on a whole revenge arc. All right? Because Scorpio through Diddy and through Drake saw all you motherfuckers betray them. All you motherfuckers hope they went to jail. All you motherfuckers talk shit. Scorpio been waiting for their season like, oh, I'm about to get revenge. Scorpio on their revenge arc is crazy. See, all you motherfuckers talking shit. All you motherfuckers talking shit. So trust. Scorpio season about to be spooky, fam. I'm telling you right now, it's not about to be your average Scorpio season. And that's why Mars and Mercury, there right now has been, it's like if I'm in this city and I send a spy to go into the next city, right? That's what Sun in Libra and Mercury and Scorpio look like. Hey, we have an agent in the underworld right now. Before we go into the underworld, I need you to meet up with this agent, Mars. We had a stepper meet with Lilith and Mercury. We need you to send this message to Mars, which is happening right now, by the way. That's what this conjunction is. Because now Mercury is going to go ahead in a Sag, and then it's going to start to retrograde. Okay. No, that's a crazy plot twist. Like it could, like we could see some of the craziest face turns and heel turns. People who we thought were heroes will come out to be the villain. People thought we were villains, realize we're actually the hero. All right, it's going to be crazy. I'm not going to say that's what's going to happen, but it's going to be something dramatic like that, even if it's totally different. So we sent this scout to spread the message. It's met up with the agent who initially went through to clear the way. Okay, so now our brain processing and the information ahead of our conscious awareness, and then our action orientation, our horniness, our sexual desire is building deeper intimacy. In fact, as of now, it's aligning with these belief systems. So as the moon goes into Scorpio, let's actually break down the next 2 weeks. As the moon goes into Scorpio, right, we are now going to close Libra season out by coming into a much deeper psychoanalytical exploration of how this reactivation of our social awareness and powers and superpowers dive us much deeper into our psyche. And that's where the trine to Jupiter is going to make do for this level of integration, as well as this grand water trine. That's going to really conclude a lot of reasoning loops. It's going to make a lot more deeper sense. There's a lot more that's going to be revealed. What's also important is that the moon never makes a 30-degree angle yet in Libra. That's going to happen while it's in Scorpio. As you can see, even a day later, the moon is just 28 degrees. It's not going to be until when it's 0 degrees Sag, we finally step into the Taurus signature. Okay. So it's very important, once again, this new moon in Libra is activation of superpowers. If we understand that the Pluto conjunction, remember Leo season, we were breaking through supernatural talents. Virgo season, we were activating supernatural techniques. Now this is breaking through all that together. What is a superpower that comes through this? This superpower that you're activating could be that you go cold turkey, right? On certain bad habits you've had. Because Scorpio is now where Virgo is where we build habits, but Scorpio is where we cut the dead weight. Psychoanalyzation. Virgo is analyzation. It's the side eye. Like, I know you don't have white socks and red socks on looking at me like you could talk to me. But then Scorpio is psychoanalysis. It cuts straight to your weakness. It's like, yeah, that's why you're a bitch, because you've always needed your mom in your life and you've never been able to like, oh, you know, I'm sensitive about that. Like Virgo and Scorpio are ruthless. But that being said, this is where you cut the dead weight. This is where you and me both. I've hit my last vape as of today. Let me hold myself accountable. I said I was going to quit vaping a while ago. This is my last vape. I just finished it. I'm not going to vape again. Now, if someone offers me a hit of a vape, I'm going to do that. If someone offers me a hit of some smoke, I'm going to smoke that. But like, I'm not buying vapes anymore. I'm not doing it. And hold me accountable. If you ever see me doing this, be like, Peace Dealer, you lied. Okay, but I'm done. All right. I appreciate the congrats, but please do not congratulate me. This is one step forward. We gonna push it forward. Plus, I should have been done this. But that being said, and Monica, I just got your text. Looking forward to that. Okay, looking forward to the video. But that being said, and okay, if you vaping right now, bro, please don't let what I said make you stop vaping. Because there's all this anti-vape shit. I like select poisons. I have poison resistance. I'm a dark ghost type Pokemon. So I can sample poisons. I'm a lightweight though. I can't drink that much. It's not immunity, it's just resistance. But please don't let what I said stop you from vaping. If you want to give in to your vices, please do. I think that's important in the process too. Me personally, and this is just my advice, okay? I'm going to go back to doing them. I've been doing them here and there. I haven't been as consistent, but what I'm going to start doing is just dead hangs for 3 minutes every day and just kind of build that way. Me personally, I feel like you should have at least 2 to 3 vices. One is just not enough. It's not enough, right? Anything more than 3, you're not going to have the appropriate focus. So if you have at least 2 to 3 vices you do in moderation, ain't nothing wrong with that. And let people judge you for it. Because the best part of having vices is people judging you for it and feeling like they're better for you than you have a chip on your shoulder. And it's like, for me, it was weed and fast food. You feel me? It was weed, fast food, and probably vaping. You feel me? It is what it is. If you have at least 2 to 3 manageable vices, live a little, buddy. It's not about culture. It's about moderation, first of all. It's not about this quitting shit. Caffeine is a common one for many. You feel me? It's cool. But like, yeah. So please do not let me encourage you from giving up what for some of you might be your only vice. That could be the one to take you out this world. And I will not want to rob you of that. We look at these things as bad, but it's all just a choice. It's all just a choice. Okay. I want to make sure power's in your hands. I mean, once you have like 10, your focus is split across. You're not really investing more than you can if you just focus. But then again, if you like a Sagittarius or a Capricorn, you motherfuckers do everything. So it's different. If you Sag or you could do whatever you want. But that being said, it's about weighing the consequences. Okay, so I don't want to be that kind of guy that's like, oh, this is evil. This brings it lowers your testosterone. Then work around it. Then do other stuff that works around it. It really is what it is. We demonize all sorts of shit. You feel me? Screw it. Oh. Or if you want to go cold turkey, if you want to rid yourself of vices, yes, Sag Rising counts too. That's also beautiful. I just got to keep it real at the end of the day. Capricorn moon, you feel me? Like, ideals are beautiful, but you don't live in an ideal. You live in reality. So, yep. Oh, yes, raw onions. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. What? Okay. So, with that being said, yeah, moderation is always key. That is temperance. That is a Sagittarius issue. Okay. Yeah. I know if I were to get high, I commit to the workout way more than if I'm not. But I like to work out first thing in the morning. Actually, might get a little drunk. Ain't nothing wrong with that. All right. So we're activating this social awareness. We're activating this breakthrough of consciousness. We're activating superpowers. The moon in Scorpio is going to bring deeper psychoanalysis. But look, now the sun is in Scorpio. Now, what do you notice? It is not a coincidence that once the sun goes into Scorpio, Neptune goes back into Pisces and it gets spooky in this bitch. Now, here's the most important part. Here's the most important part about this, guys. It's what I've been waiting for since we started this year. You see the sun square Pluto? That's the most important part. And on the 24th, on Friday, I could do the monthly peace report, but we're going to resume the following Monday. So let's see. Friday's going to be then. So on the 27th is where we'll resume for the monthly peace report. And that's where we're going to talk about one of the most important parts of Scorpio season, the square to Pluto. The square to Pluto, the sun has finally crossed the finish line. 270 degrees of completion. We've completed the first go around, and then we have 18 to 19 more to go. Well, what, Peace Dealer, what are you talking about? We're talking about one of the most iconic conjunctions that we're going through for the next 20 years up until 2044. And then after that, it's going to be 2044 to 2068 through Pluto Pisces. All right. When Pluto is in Pisces, somebody retweeted and reshared this video on Threads when I was saying that Pisces really wants to murder you guys, but they're being held back by the universe. So they're just being allowed to escape before natural disasters take over. 2044, the Pisces are going to start awakening. Well, now the Aquarians are awakening, which are like Viltrumites kind of wanting to take over them. So we're not in the clear, right? But we still have 20 years, even though shit is already hitting the fan. Right, we still have to deal with a potential AI takeover. Like, this is like, who writes this script? Like, y'all really told us to go to fucking college and we'll live the American dream. Go to college, get a nice job. You didn't tell us artificial intelligence will replace our fucking jobs and you guys would buy up the house market and raise prices. You lied. You lied. You lied. You lied. You lied. You lied. It is what it is. Aquarians, y'all are Viltrumites. Look, it is what it is. You either know it or you don't. You pretend to be human, which offends me, but it's cool. I look up to y'all. You guys have my respect. But yes. And when I say that Aquarians are Viltrumites, trust, they love you, but like they love their pet. Okay, I don't care if you're in front of your Aquarius significant other right now, they love you like they love their dog. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you. They love you, but just like a pet. You're just a human too. You're just a mortal. You're just the human they wanted to date. Look, I just letting you know this. I know I'm not supposed to snitch, but the truth is the truth. It is, and they gonna say, no, Peace Dealer's lying to you. No, I really love you. Yeah, they love you, all right. You know, they do. But when the aliens invade, they're gonna be like, no, this is my human. Yeah, you can get the other humans. This is my human. Just leave it. Yes, I'm telling you. When you see Aquarians talking to themselves, they're not talking to themselves. They have cosmic awareness. They're talking to aliens 50,000 light years away. Like, yes, these humans don't know our invasion is almost complete. They're doing that right now. My North Node is Aquarius, so it is my destiny. My employer is, I work for Viltrumites. Like, I'm MC Aquarius. I just felt like snitching because it is Kevin Gates speak none others. You heard me? You feel like I fully believe he put his hands on the car battery and started it. DJ Academics, Taurus don't believe that. Gemini believes that. I almost know he not lying. It's cool. But as you can see, this awakening of these aliens actually started a couple years ago. This was earlier this year. As you can see, we had the sun on Pluto. This was January 25th. Okay. So coming into Taurus, we manifested it in Pisces. We expressed it in Aries. Boom, we landed the spaceship. We're going to do this sequence every year until 2044 at increasing degrees. Okay. 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 Then we fully expressed these ideas in Gemini. We started to integrate the feeling in Cancer. Boom, we perform it on stage. This was the first point of breakthrough. By the time we do this next year, guess who's going to join the party? Jupiter. I'm telling you guys. That's why 2026 moving forward, when GTA 6 drops, like next year, I think is going to be one of the most fire lit years we've ever had. Ever. I think it's going to be one of the most fun years we've had too, as far as stakes and just impact. All right. I've been enjoying this year, though, as weird as it's been. But yes, that's what happened this year. And then, of course, Virgo, we began to transform what we're beginning to awaken and know, right? Boom. Then we stepped into Libra. So this is first stage breakthrough in Leo, second stage breakthrough in Virgo, third stage breakthrough in Libra. And guess what? Completion. Boom. That's what we're stepping into. So this is the first time. Why is that significant? The Sun Pluto Aquarius conjunction, theoretically, for me, in my personal opinion, is responsible for awakening supernatural quality of senses, abilities, talents, techniques, and superpowers. Okay. If you were to hear that and think it's preposterous, I cannot blame you. I can't blame you. You're wrong, but I can't blame you for thinking that I'm wrong. It should sound crazy as fuck right now. By 2044, it's going to be common knowledge. A huge part of this is demystifying what the supernatural is, and in recognizing that 99% of the things we call mundane actually have the supernatural in it, which is funny because we cannot perceive over 99% of the electromagnetic spectrum. So given that we're hallucinating, our capacity to now begin to sense beyond the third dimension is going to awaken like it's never before. And so that's why I want to ask you this year, you have probably performed feats you thought were impossible a few years ago. And I mean, anyone can say that's the truth. That's not supposed to be some like, see, that's just like, I'm sure you could say you've experienced that. I'm pretty sure it's, regardless of transit, it's always going to be, you're always constantly improving. But we want to really tie in a supernatural quality to this. How is it that you began to break through this year? Because as you can see, this is going to happen again next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that. See, by 2029, now when we complete this Pluto transit, Jupiter is in Scorpio. We finished evolving the social circuit. North Node's in Sag. We're unlocking innovation we've never seen before. Saturn's in Taurus. Those born 1998, 99, 2000, they're returning their strength and power and investments. But we're still completing this awakening. So that's why we're giving it a 20-year cycle, right? It's not like this is the year, maybe for one of you, but it's not like everything's going to awaken. It's over the next 20 years. The way I akin it is like in groups and batches of thousands of people wake up, and then thousands more people wake up. Scorpio cosmic energy tune-up is going to be after, it's probably going to be in November. And I still owe you guys World War Zero episode 5. I want to get that done in October. But shoot, not here, bruh. If you go practice something, so not in Vegas, because I like my day sunny. But with that being said, I thought there was someone sitting on the couch. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. That being said, what's very significant here is that this first go around is a huge deal, guys, because this is the first time we've actually activated Sun Pluto in Aquarius. So that's why the moon in Scorpio, before we have the actual new moon in Scorpio, is just going to align with Lilith Mars and Mercury fully lock you in. You're gonna prepare. The whole purpose of Scorpio, I know this is the great lock-in period, but it's Scorpio is gonna intensify the lock-in like never before. If you haven't locked in by this point, you lock it in. All right. Or you're running away from accountability. But that being said, boom, we have this exact 270-degree square with the 1 degree square. Now, before that, I want you guys to look at this. Uranus is going to go back into Taurus. So unlike before, where we had the trine and then we had the square in Virgo, right? The square to Virgo in August enabled us to begin integrating this radical shift in our thought process into how we form behavioral patterns with these new ideas. Okay. What's an example of that? Before this year, you did not have Grok 4 and Mecha Hitler and ChatGPT 5. This year, now you have GPT. That's an example of Uranus and Gemini, right? Smart technology. Now the way you're living your life, you're having to incorporate these new technological advancements as it starts into how, because of course, this is going to be way more advanced as Uranus goes higher degrees. So that's one classic example. Now you got to see, oh, okay, how is my lifestyle with Uranus more innovative, right? When I'm now having GPT kind of make things easier. It doesn't take away the work, but we're seeing this innovation. Then, of course, we applied this into our relationships. How do we communicate these radical ideas as we are awakening humanity? And that's why, guys, now Scorpio is going to be the psychoanalysis that takes the analysis, the application of analysis, and now the deeper psychoanalysis that integrates Virgo signature 150 degrees and starts to now deepen the wisdom of what it is you're doing. So everything you did through Virgo is just going to take much deeper. You're going to come into deeper wisdom, basically. That's a huge oversimplification. But once we now step into the 1 degree square, Moon is in Sag. And remember, the Moon opposition to Uranus is going to be very significant every month, because it's going to be showing you how innovative the higher meaning of how this begins to change what you mean. And what's the purpose for me theoretically? I feel like this is helping you see the supernatural slowly but surely. Okay. So, and one example of why the supernatural may be difficult to see is you're training your brain to be familiar with phenomena that occurs at probably picosecond lengths. And you're going to understand not just how to time it, but how to notice more what's been happening your entire life. All right. And thank you, Forest Fairy. For those of you who, and this is the main reason why I'm saying, for those of you who it feels like nothing is happening and you're not gaining results for what you're doing, like, please don't feel guilty. A lot of why many of you may be doing nothing as well, or you're doing stuff and it looks like nothing's happening, that's Saturn and Pisces, guys. That's the North Node, Saturn, behind the scenes, shifting train tracks of your fate and destiny. So next year, Virgo season, when we activate this new cycle, a lot of you are going to feel more busy than you've ever felt, right? And that's why the analogy I'm giving you is Frank Ocean, right? All of you are Frank Ocean at the end of his major label deal that he wanted to get out of. So like the project he put in wasn't even his real work. He was just putting his album in to be done with the deal. That's you this year. You've done the final project. You're done with the label. Some of you had a falling out with the label. And since you've expressed, I'm going independent next year, or I'm signing with another label, they've tried to shit on you this year. They've tried to like work against you, discourage you. That's why it's like things don't feel like they were against your old labels, the old world. It's the old beliefs. It's the old habits that are wanting you to get right with them or struggle by yourself. Or for some of you, you could be re-signing with the same label and it's amicable. So I'm not trying to say that the label system in itself is bad. Some people like their deals and they're good deals. So that's also a thing too. But that being said, you want to look at this like you're done with that old label, because what's coming next year? Sun, Saturn, Aries. That's independence. That's a new contract, either with the same people, but under new management, or you're independent, right? And so this is that crucial period where it's like, yeah, you're doing nothing, but that's because you're closing out 30 plus years of cycles. And many of you are also in a society that ridicules you for not running on a hamster wheel. The old program of being perpetually busy so that you feel like you're accomplishing something. Many of you at a soul level were like, fuck that, I'm doing nothing. And if you experience that, please comment an exclamation mark or nothing exclamation mark. If you've been feeling your own self shut down, it's because you've needed this time to process. Like, we're in a day and age where you're coming into more information than you ever had. And it's been like that for a decade, but now it's exponentially more. All right. People 50, 500 years ago, like they did, I think in a day, you've come up, you process more information than they ever will in a lifetime. So your body and soul is like, yo, fucking chill, stop, I'm done. I don't care. Give me this time to do nothing. Nothing. I don't care if this falls off. And that's where faith in yourself comes through. Because in the moment, it looks like, oh, what am I going to do? But it's exactly where you need to be. Everything that doesn't stay wasn't meant to go with you. And I know that sounds like mumbo jumbo. I know that sounds dumb as fuck. But like, really, 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 really trust yourself here. Oh my God. 50 hours a week. That's gangster in criminal defense. Good shit. But like, yeah. You feel me? Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. And like, you know, you don't have, it's this old way of thought. A lot of your parents didn't have that luxury. That's why they see it as soft, because they did not have the luxury to just take a break. A lot of your parents were able to raise you because they had to just break themselves, working. And they don't understand that's not us to inherit. They're reasonably going to say, hey, this is what worked for us, so this is what you have to do. But nobody's going for that. Plus, the technology we have, they didn't have, which made stuff so much more efficient. So that's why you need to have grace and compassion for the older generation and what they had to do, the good, bad, and ugly, because their sins we have to overcome, generational curses. But you have to understand, given the way it was, they kind of had to bring this ideology here because they were lied to. They were finessed. They were directly suppressed. And unlike us, they didn't have social media to speak up about it. They didn't have that ease of communication, right? So that's why Gen Z is not following the old program. That's why it doesn't work. A lot of the manipulative stuff that their parents did on them doesn't work on these new people. And there's a lot of wisdom there too. I don't want to dismiss everything that all of it goes in the trash. The stuff of wisdom is going to stay, but that's where this shit is coming from. And that's why I'm saying coming into next year, where we start these new cycles, it's going to be like hitting the reset button on your PlayStation 76, or like it's hitting the reboot individually, socially, right? I was not supposed to be 2 hours in on this, but it's just, I have to make sure I break this down very, very, very importantly, because I don't want you to just see this as another season. Like when we come into next year, the whole theme is going to be a whole new world, right? But it's very important you understand you got yourself here since birth. Like you didn't just get yourself here. You feel me? Like you busted a lot of ass to come here. And to many people that may look like nothing. A lot of you aren't even 30 years old, thinking that you have to have so much to show for you being here. That's a lie. That's a lie. A lot of you have not even had your Saturn return yet. And you think you're supposed to have something to show for you being on this earth. Even worse are some of you in your late 30s, 40s, and 50s thinking that you have to have something to show for what you've been doing. I'm not saying that you should not care about results, but it's like, please don't play that game with yourself and act as if you getting yourself to this point isn't what you have to show for it, because you've let a fake ass society that has obsessed itself with this fake sense of success and keeping up with the Jones make you think that you haven't accomplished anything because you're not competing with it. It's so stupid. It's so brain dead. That's why the influencer age is over. Neptune is out of Pisces. You can't just fake it anymore. People are going to want authenticity more than ever. They always wanted it, but now it's non-negotiable. That's Saturn and Neptune in Aries. We see who fake. We see who real. You're not finessing us anymore. Before it was new. We were dealing with new technology, and now we know more what to recognize. So by the time we start Scorpio season off, we're starting Scorpio season off, completing this first round of the Pluto cycle. And that's what's going to bring the accomplishments and the rewards in Sagittarius season. The review in Capricorn, then we reactivate again in Aquarius, but with a whole party at the beginning of the year. So this is the portion throughout the next 2 weeks where you really want to step into these breakthroughs and rewards. You don't want to move forward like, oh, I got to do this. You did it already. Everything you had to do, you started in April. So now we're starting to come into these rewards. And yes, there's still more work to do because reaping is work in and of itself. But now it's time to start appreciating what you sowed and why it's going to be breaking through this intensely. Okay. So Uranus is going to bring that unconventionality. Pluto is going to bring that intensity. And Venus is going to be polishing up what actions you've taken over the past 30 days. So by the time the moon goes into Sagittarius, we're coming into an ascended understanding of this psychoanalysis. Mercury will retrograde soon. So we're in the shadow period, pre-retrograde period. But this is going to give you a magical manifestation of wisdom and purity. This is the sauce. You're going to see the sauce you're manifesting. Then we're going to take this perspective and we're going to understand where to direct and utilize this sense of wisdom, this depth of psychoanalysis. It's going to go further into Capricorn. This is going to be the third stage activation. Now, look at the sequence that occurs, right? Once the moon goes into Aquarius, we see Mercury gets ready to go into Sagittarius. And when the moon goes over Pluto, Mercury is going to go opposite Uranus. Mars is going to trine Saturn. That's getting ready to trine Jupiter. Okay. So Mercury opposite Uranus is going to be a major game changer. While we're diving much deeper into our psyche, Mercury is now going to start processing the bigger picture, the higher mind that is fully breaking through this revolutionary innovation of our lower minded thoughts and ideas, the more analysis. Lower mind meaning what's 3 plus 3 equals 6. Higher mind meaning what's the meaning of politics, right? What's the meaning of free will? This is higher minded ideals. So this is going to start to show you how you've been awakening the supernatural. And this is where down the sextile, I know that's a huge reach, but the sextile to Pluto is going to now complete the previous conjunction that Mercury had with Pluto. So now Mercury and Mars are finishing the finish line and the sun is catching up. Okay. So very important. The sun, of course, is continuing this completion of the Pluto square, but October 29th is a very important date. The end of October, basically, you're going to begin to see with new eyes. This is where everything that was hard to see behind the scenes, you're going to start to see. Of course, you'll already experience it now, but you're going to start to see more meaning relative to this. Now, the moon in Aquarius is going to be the first quarter square. So this is where, relative to the seeds we planted at the end of Libra, now we're coming into a supernatural, extremely knowledgeable and awakened understanding of the wisdom we're being aware of. This transformation of this social awareness and the purity with which we'll detach and come into more knowledgeable understanding collectively of these transforming social dynamics. As Aquarius is universal and Scorpio is the last social sign. Leo is daytime social. Scorpio is strip club, nightclub social. Okay, at the end of the day, hence sex, right? What do you do after you leave the club? You have sex. Well, ideally, right? But that being said, boom, those seeds begin to break through the ground. And because Pluto's involved, it's going to be very extreme. So be mindful of what happens here as well. Okay. By the way, oh no, this is the ceremony. All right. So with that being said, Moon is going to continue in Aquarius, right? It's going to trine Venus, how we're polishing these previous actions. Venus opposing Chiron is going to revisit the breakthrough we're going through now, okay? And then when the moon goes into Pisces, Jupiter is going to finally make it 25 degrees. It's going to trine Saturn. That's going to grand water trine Mars. Then the moon, of course, in fully expressing Scorpio, we're going to revisit the understanding of how our belief systems are changing again and what kind of integrity this reviewing of our belief systems have as well. And with Neptune here, remember a month ago, Neptune was still in Aries. Now it's back in Pisces. So that's another huge thing. Trine Mars and trine Jupiter. Here's another thing too. A lot of people may look at you like a failure, but you're really the Hokage. And that's all I'm going to say. If you know, you know. A lot of people may try to hit you with this, oh, you haven't achieved this. Like they want to project the failure label on you. But those same people are going to have to, with horror and shock, look as you're elevated into positions above them because you knew you were never a failure. They just needed to project so that they could feel better than you because insecure people need someone to feel better than. Don't ever forget that even Naruto was called a failure. And now he's the 7th Hokage. I mean, now he's kind of in an alternate dimension, sealed away by a kid who he saved. But that doesn't matter. He is the 7th Hokage. He was a failure, Richard. Okay. But now he's the leader of his village. And outside of that, you're going to be actively breaking through social expectations that never really aligned with the reality of you, but more the expectation and idea of you, which was never grounded in reality, just people's stupid ass beliefs. So by the time, So by the time we get into the moon in Aries and we're integrating the authenticity around this transforming nature of your behavior, the ruler of Aries, Mars, the stepper, the god of war, is going to leave Scorpio. You might be the horniest you've ever felt. That's okay. You're only going to get hornier as it goes into Sag. Now, of course, Venus opposite Chiron, we're also going to see with this opposition. And now look, Uranus, yo ass, is opposite Mars. So this is now the beginning of November. This is another crucial period because now everything your brain has been innovating, showing you, you're going to be taking action. So you're going to process it. You're going to see it and process it first. Then you're going to take unconventional action. And for those of you who practice mundane astrology, let me know what you think about what this will signal as far as war, as far as conflicts, as far as psyops, as far as false flags, as far as like actual terrorist events. Like I can't put my finger on what it is, but this looks suspect as fuck. Like this looks like this is going to trigger something. Like I don't know. And in the sextile too, like this is what's going to bring to light a lot of the deep psychological development and transformation that's been happening within. And that could look ugly, but it could also look beautiful as well. I'm purposely leave it vague like that and not be specific. But that being said, that's going to transition us into the full moon 1313, and Uranus will get ready to come back into Taurus. Ironically, while the moon goes through Gemini. So as you can see, at the end of the moon in Gemini, Uranus is going to go back into Taurus. But that means this Scorpio season is the very last moon Uranus Gemini until next year when it comes back. So as you can see, guys, the shit's heating up. I told you guys, like the rest of the year is about to be nuts. Fucking nuts. Okay. And considering that this is the climax, okay, personally, expect things to intensify. Expect whatever you think you know to be way different than you thought. Expect to start to see the meaning of your beliefs transform and the breakthrough, right, of belief systems that have been real that now push you forward because you've maintained integrity of them. Okay. So we're going to resume in 2 weeks for the full moon ceremony. That's going to bring us to the next 2 weeks. That's going to bring the coveted opposition of Uranus. Scorpio season, personally, to me, I think is going to be on go all season. I think Scorpio season is about to be like ridiculous. Okay. I think it's going to be very, very monumental and telling in a way, as far as revealing deeper mysteries and insight to get to the bottom of things that this season has told you is important to look into. So I think there's going to be deep revelation. I normally don't do a new moon card, but I got y'all. Why not, guys? Why not? I'm gonna just do it from this Demon Slayer deck. So I'm gonna pull this new moon card, and then we're finally going to get into the declaration of non-consent. That's one way to put it. Yeah. So we do have the Magician, baby. The new moon is the Magician. Your thoughts are becoming things. So you're going to realize and recognize, this is the deck once again, for those of you who want to know, you're going to recognize that what's been on your mind, what it is you've been manifesting, is manifesting. And here's another card, the moon. So this is going to bridge your brain and your imagination. Okay. It's pretty much making your thoughts things. The moon card is going to reveal that things are not as they seem. So this is going to be an initiation for some of you. Many people are going to see the same thing. The moon is a card of illusions, delusions, people being delusional as fuck. People just kind of, in some case, playing the victim, but it's also a card of psychic ability. And it's a card of being able to see the unseen without using your eyes. It's being able to look at a situation and realizing that there's way more beyond just the surface. So these, your dreams or certain sequences of synchronicities are going to reveal themselves. See, I like that. Stop pulling cards if you don't know you are the cards. I love that. So your word is your wand. And this is why I told you guys in the beginning, your homework is to watch the video. Oh, how do we do this? Oh, okay. Your homework is to watch the video on my playlist and to even watch that playlist. The Speak Like a God and Create Your Reality. Like that's not entirely what it was, but oh, there we go. Ultimate Manifestation Playlist. So go click the link below if you're on YouTube, Ultimate Manifestation Playlist. And that's what the magician is saying. How to activate the Logos frequency. Speak like a God and shift reality with your voice. Abracadabra, baby. That's the magician. All right. And we got the death card, Scorpio. So there is massive transformation here at work and at play. Your words are your wands. Are you speaking with conviction, knowing that everything you are saying is happening, is actively vibrating with the universe around you, that you are that source point? Or are you just saying shit to say it with like you're just saying, yeah, I'm gonna be happy that I'm gonna achieve this today. But do you know that? Are you saying that like it's a fact? Like are you afraid of being wrong? Like what? You feel me? So like play this game properly. And yeah, I think that's a really beautiful message, especially with Mercury that's gonna go into Sagittarius. You're gonna start to see this so much more ridiculously. And this is still just like a sneak peek into the advanced mechanics we're going to break into when we really activate this new world cycle. Okay. Are you letting your breath radiate through your word too? All right. So, you know, our affirmation for this year, we're set for life. Nah, it's impossible. We're set for life. So say it with me, guys. I'm set for life. We're set for life. We're financially free. We're walking in absolute victory. Okay. Boom. That's the intention we can move forward with. And I hope that's corny to some of you. I know talking positive and like claiming shit, you would rather struggle, which is just dumb as fuck to me. It's like people need to feel like, oh, shit was hard for me, so I matter more. It's like, bro, get over yourself. Anyway, that being said, it's time for the declaration of non-consent. It's time. Let's get ready to rumble. All right off the bat, I can tell a lot of agents around you, they're going to be pissed, especially relative to the last time we did this, okay, which was 6 months ago. A lot has changed. Since then, Neptune and Saturn have entered Aries. We've started a brand new evolution cycle. Okay, so you're immediately going to find people who've thrown juju at you, black magic at you, who have attachments to you. Try to reconnect. Tell them to suck your dick. Okay, like energetically, through silence. Agent Smithies are going to be shook. This is an automatic clapback, as you will see. And because of the potency of these angles, I think you're going to experience the effectiveness immediately. So whether you're watching on Instagram or whether you're watching on YouTube, let's get this show started, shall we? All right. So with that being said, you're welcome to say this out aloud, or you can say it in your head. The following is to be declared in effect via spoken word. Okay. A reclaiming of individual sovereignty by one's individual intent and will. Let us begin. This is my declaration and freedom from all control, AI, beings, and authority structures that interfere in harm against my sovereign free will. Let it be known that I withdraw consent. I terminate all contracts of agreements concluded by third parties regarding myself, and herewithin return all liabilities and karmic implications to the contracting parties on all levels, dimensions, time, and timelessness. I withdraw consent to having any human being, living organism, machine, entity, person, corporation, secret group, or their representatives, their superiors, their employers, their on and off world allies, or anyone working for or with any of the above, to spy, to look into, to watch, or in any way invade my privacy for any harmful reason. Privacy is defined as my own unique life experience. I revoke, withdraw, and retract all harmful agreements for all my bodies, parts, fragments, atoms, DNA, cells, etheric essences, and entirety of being as an entire universe that I am on all levels, dimensions, time, cycles of time, past, present, and future, and on all levels of existence for all my bodies, from the core being of the one that I am to all my bodies across all universes, even in the folds of time and space where much is attempted to be in hiding. Each experience of my being is for my personal growth and development. It is not for corporations to seek profit from. They are not to be manipulated and controlled by any person, entity, corporation, government, religion, machine, being, except myself. These experiences are part of my unique life experience. These experiences, which are part of my unique life experience, cannot be used by any other being, human, entity, corporation, group, and any other example of someone or something that is not myself in any way that creates money and or capital for profit or control, whilst demeaning, degrading, or negatively affecting my living being. The monetization and collateralization of my personal energy and personal being, myself, for the purpose of buying and selling or owning is forbidden under any and every terminology, language, contract that is in being and has been used to control and manipulate my personal energy and being. The monetization and collateralization of my personal human body, which houses my own my unique DNA, that is my private domain, for the purpose of buying, selling, owning, or controlling, is forbidden and banned. The buying, selling, owning, and trading of my soul energy or my unique human body on or by any stock exchange, financial institution, corporation, government, religious organization in this world or any other world is expressly forbidden and banned. The buying, selling, and owning of my unique and personal DNA, energy, physical body, consciousness, anywhere in any universe, dimension, astral level, time, or world is forbidden and banned. Let's go. The buying, selling, and owning of my unique and personal DNA, energy, physical body, consciousness, anywhere in any universe, dimension, astral level, time, or world is forbidden and banned. The harvesting of my energy by any group, organization, corporation, government, religious sect, astral energy, galactic being, or anyone who is not myself is now forbidden, banned, and barred, whatever the form it takes. My energy is my own creation. And I do not consent to having it harvested for others to use or to profit from. Such buying, selling, and controlling amounts to slavery and is forbidden by me under my own sovereign free will and law that I impose. I withdraw consent to the use of nanite technology, parasites, or any other type of infectious diseases or infectious technology whatsoever, whensoever, or wheresoever, now, in the past, or in the future, to be used upon my human physical body or mind, consciousness or soul, whilst I am living here on earth, or on any places or any places in and out of space and time wherein such forces can influence one's being. I withdraw consent to any type of mind control or the use of intelligent technology implants, physical, etheric, or astral, living or non-living, to be used on my living body, on my living being, my physical body, my ethereal body, my electromagnetic body, my astral body, my consciousness, or my soul body, which could possibly have any harmful effect upon my physical body, mind, consciousness, or soul in any way. I withdraw consent to the external creation of dreams when I am asleep. I withdraw consent to any other human being, corporation, government, religion, entity, machine, dimensional being, entity entering my consciousness on any level at any time ever, if the intent is to bring harm unto myself and unlawful harm unto another entity. No, I did not write this. We originally did this on another website, but the website seemed to have deleted, but it looks like it's back up. But yeah. I withdraw consent to any type of frequency wave currently being used or historically used to target my private and clearly designated unique human physical, etheric, or astral bodies, my DNA, my cells, or my mind, or my consciousness, or my soul in any way that is negative. This includes any any type of exotic, secret, or covert earth-based and off-world based technology, which includes locations on the moon, asteroids, or other undisclosed places being used, that projects pulses, sorcery, beams, or waves of any known frequency which has been seen to be detrimental to the human body, mind, or consciousness, or soul. I withdraw consent to the use and effect of fluoride in the drinking water, in addition to genetically modifying the food grown and sold for human consumption. I withdraw consent to aerosol sprays being placed into the air I breathe, nor the programming being inserted into music that I listen to. I withdraw consent and do not accept any programming placed into the audio and video images I am exposed to. I withdraw consent to the negative manipulation of the weather and to the poisoning of the earth, because I know that these acts are harmful and unhealthy to myself and others. Thank you, Nicholas Fogg. So someone actually sent me the original link. So I'm going to paste it there. Sovereignty.com declaration of non-consent. So I'm gonna get that over there. I withdraw consent to the use of psychics, black occult magicians. There we go. Archons, demons, and negative spirits, or any entities using mental energies or any other forms of frequency, harm, or attack against my living body, against my living being or bodies, or using my body to inflict harm upon others. I withdraw consent to exotic machine-like robotic technology, either physically or etherically, or astrally implanted, used in any way to track, alter, torment, attack, abuse, infect, or harm my body, my mind, my astral body, my consciousness, or my soul, at any time, at any place, for any reason. Gotta say it with the soul. I withdraw consent to any deception being used on my living being at any time, anywhere, which creates any negative outcome concerning the health and welfare of my own personal body, mind, and soul, also known as my personal living being, or to my free will, my prosperity, my wealth, or my happiness, also described as my life. I am using my sovereign lawful will and intention to declare an order that no energetic can deceive me personally in any way that affects me harmfully or negatively. No treaty made with any human being, corporation, government, religion, entity, machine, whether on or off this planet, is valid if that contract or treaty in any way affects my life or my body, mind, consciousness, or soul in any way measurable, negative, and harmful way. In any measurable, negative, and harmful way. No treaty made by anyone anywhere is valid if it collaterally affects my living and breathing being, my life, my happiness, or my prosperity in a harmful or negative way, without my full and comprehensive and transparent consent to said or stated treaty, even if I personally am not party to such a treaty. This includes corporate treaties and contracts, as well as any treaties or contracts considered to be off-world or interdimensional. I remove all prior consent to deception, harm, enslavement, or control of my living being, my physical body, my ethereal body, my electromagnetic body, my astral body, my consciousness, or my soul body on any and all levels. Bars. Any previous contracts or perceived consents through any form of tacit or assumed consent is now completely null and void, forbidden and banned upon all levels of existence. Any contracts made during any of my previous on or off-world incarnations that involve gross deception, gross violation, trickery, mind control, black magic, occult, sorcery practices are all here and now made permanently null and void. No contract I have signed or agreed to, either in writing or as an assumed or tacit agreement, as concerns incarnations in any way, shape, or form upon the earth, is valid, regardless of any perceived amount of time or space, physical, dimensional, or otherwise, has transpired since that original contract or agreement was begun. If any of my previous consents or contracts of which I was a party involved me being under duress and or were made as a result of deception, they are all now deemed invalid. If any of my previous consents or contracts involved intentions of using me to serve another selfish agenda or purpose, they are all now invalid. Any person, being, corporation, religion, entity, machine, consciousness that wishes to have a contract with me, my living being, my physical body, my ethereal body, my electromagnetic body, my astral body, my consciousness, or my soul body, must do so in complete transparency, with every single piece of that contract consent explained in full detail, with absolutely no missing information or obligations left unstated or unexplained, and must be written out in full with my fully conscious approval and wet ink signature. Interesting. Okay. Public notice to Earth's criminals. Public notice to Earth's criminal harm-inducing appointed caretakers. Wait a minute. Oh. Or leaders, including earthly visitors, whom are their supporters, and any being, entity, corporation, government, religion, machines, or person aligned in any way with any of these beings. Got him. That's it. All right. Let me put this in here. One moment, guys. Beautiful. All right, let me refresh this real quick. There we go. Here's, as you can see, this is the original link. So if you click the description box below, you'll see it there. But let's go back. If any such things as listed above are being done or ever were done, then those acts occurred without my consent and will be considered deception and are void and null. All tacit or presumed consent by me for any act of doing done by another person, entity, being, etc., that affects me in any way that I perceive as negative, harming or controlling my free will, whatsoever is hereby now permanently removed and challenged and denied. It is denied to any and all beings or entities unless a current contract or treaty has been negotiated with me personally. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. Bars. No further notice is deemed necessary. And this is now both written and recorded on this planet Earth, Gaia, and upon all off-world dimensional universal records. If any human being, entity, government, religion, corporation, group from this planet, Earth, Gaia, any dimension, any universe, any perceived other level of existence, wishes to form any contracts or agreements or treaties with me, they must do so face to face in this physicality that my human body resides in on this planet, in full acknowledgement and agreement of my free will to choose to do so. Only under the agreement written in this declaration. I have the right of my own sovereign will to change, update, or modify this declaration at any time. Oh, all right, that's it. We do this, bruh. We do this, bruh. You think this is a game? Do you think this is a game? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right, now we're going to do the inner peace declaration. Dun, 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 dun. All right, this one's a much simpler. Okay. It's a realignment bubble. With the unlimited power of... Oh, wait, hold on. Let me do this. Okay, that might be hard to see. With the unlimited power of my mighty I am presence, I am declaring that all supporting, loving energy sent to me from any and all outside sources will be accepted with great gratitude. All toxic and negative energy sent to me from any and all outside sources will be immediately returned to sender, cleared, purified, and without malice. GTFOHWBS. With the unlimited power of my mighty I am presence, I am declaring that all supporting, loving energy from me to any and all outside sources are gladly offered with 100% unconditional love. All energy sent from me to any sources that do not honor or respect these energy offerings will be returned to me cleared and purified. All toxic or negative energy, intentional or intentional, sent from me to anyone will immediately be returned to me cleared and purified. All toxic or negative energy, intentional or unintentional, sent from me to anyone will be immediately returned to me, cleared and purified. This declaration is so and is made manifest throughout all time, space, dimension, in the past, present, and future, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, plus leap years, throughout my physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies, until I request the removal of this bubble or I no longer need any realignment and the evolution process is complete. This declaration is given with great gratitude with the support and guidance from my spirit guardians. It is so, and so it is. And the crowd goes wild. I think this was a W stream, guys. I think this was one of our better streams. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we knocked this bitch right out the park. I think this was actually really fucking awesome. Let it be known through the Dominion. So You guys stay blessed. Next week, Monday, we're going to resume with the monthly peace report, the monthly tribe reports, our Scorpio season offerings. And we'll get straight to that after we do the tribe reports. We'll do the monthly tarot reading, the pick a card reading, then the cosmic energy tune-up, then the full moon, and then another new moon. I do believe moving forward, you're getting ready to break through like never before. Okay. It is such an honor. I told you guys that I don't need money to do this. And I proved it. Okay. Like there's certain people that stop doing this because they're not getting paid. Okay. I finished my 7-year cycle since 2017. I'm barely getting anything from it. I like, shout out to those of you who got readings. So shout out to that, but I'm not getting paid with this as much anymore. I mean, I'm going to stop doing it. I know the money comes and goes, but like, I don't do this for the money, y'all. I'm actively looking for part-time jobs as we speak, just to continue paying the bills and to pay the rent and all that shit. But that's not why I do this. I'm not doing this to get a bag. It's to connect with you guys. It's to build community. It's to keep this for. I'm going to know some of you in 30 years. I'm not just trying to get money from you real quick, level up on you, and move on. This is what we're doing, I think, is so very important. And eventually we're going to upgrade and we're going to be able to do more events in person. Okay? I mean, the monthly no. From what I used to have, thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat, guys. But yeah, you feel me? Like, whether I'm getting paid or not doing this, I'm going to keep on putting this out there. I know the need for it. I know the demand for it. A lot of people are out here talking about a lot of so-called astrologers are bullshit. Like they're just feeding you bullshit. They're feeding you fucking cold reading. They're feeding you just it's just not it. Okay. So I want to fill in that demand. I want to encourage others of you who are doing this good work to keep on doing the good work, even when it looks like no one has your back, even when it looks like there's not as much support. The fact that this is of value to you guys makes this valuable to me. All right. So we're going to keep it pushing. And, you know, other people are talk. We'll let the stars talk because, you know, they've been here before any of us. They're going to be here after many of us. Albeit some of us know we eternal and we not going anywhere. Okay. So, yeah. I know money will come. Should I keep doing it? I'm never going to give this up, but I'm just reminding you, I'm not doing it to get paid. I do charge what I charge for readings because I feel like that's what they're worth. And other people have told me that it's worth every penny, but you know, me not getting paid that is not going to stop me from doing this. So as long as I get to serve you guys, I think honestly, that's worth more in its payment. And if you guys are praying for me, if you guys are putting in good word, that's worth more any fiat currency you can pay me. That its value is only subject to what people believe the confidence is of. I'd rather you just do a magic spell for me. I actually believe in magic. So you guys stay blessed as always. All right. Shout out to you guys on Instagram. Thank you guys for tapping in with me. Okay. And until next time, remember, we're set for life. And yeah, we will bring the Bible study series. I want to upgrade I want to do all this in a studio and just kind of upgrade how we're doing things. But you guys stay blessed. And until next time, peace. Supernatural is an app where you can access exclusive content from the Peace Deal. On the app features 2 seasons of the Midheaven podcast featuring Beyond the Veil. We also have Mystical Illuminations Television, which features membership exclusive content like the monthly tribe reports and the replays of the monthly peace reports we do every month. We also have exclusive series like World War Zero and astrological profiles. These series are examples of content that you can access on the app before they are eventually scheduled to YouTube and other social media platforms. For example, my Planets Through the Sign series will be scheduled to release once a week. However, as they are uploaded on the app, you will have full access to the entire series weeks before any of them appear on any other platform. We also offer easily accessible and interactive courses like my Astro 101 to Astro 105 series that give you a thorough introduction to astrology. We will also be periodically adding courses, and as those courses are available, members will be able to access them. We also have an amazing community that you are most welcome to join and chat with other like minds. It is not necessary to subscribe in order to use this app, as there is also a free default access plan that will give you access to most of the series in the app that are free and publicly available. In order to join, go to the website supernatural.passion.io. You can alternatively download from the App Store passion.io. Once the app is downloaded and it asks to find an app, simply type in Supernatural. Once the app itself is approved by Google and Apple, you will only need to type in Supernatural in the App Store and it will pop up. But until then, those are two alternative methods you can use to join us. So with all that being said, I look forward to you joining us on the other side as you become supernatural.